Hi, my name is Peter Hughes. I'm the Senior Curator of Decorative Arts at the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery. And today we're going to talk about our recently acquired Teapoy. Many people probably have never heard the word Teapoy and probably have never seen one. We're excited about this acquisition for a number of reasons. One of them is that Australian-made Teapoys are very rare. As far as we know, there are maybe 3 or 4 known. The second is, of course, that it's made from fabulous Tasmanian timbers, mainly musk, and is quite a kind of tour de force of mid-19th century craftsmanship. So to begin with, what is a teapoy? The word itself is a little bit weird because teapoy comes from an Indian word which means three-legged table. So completely unrelated, you can't see one of those here, but it's thought that those three-legged tables were used to put tea caddies on. And so the word just kind of shifted when a specialised piece of furniture that was basically a tea caddy on its own stand came into existence. The word just shifted across to describe that piece of furniture. So a little bit of weird sort of name origin there. So tea caddies begin to appear in the late 18th century, and that's a period when a lot of specialised furniture forms began to emerge. There was a booming market in furniture, and Britain was perhaps the kind of centre of that. Furniture makers are inventing all sorts of specialisations. There's a lot of competitive fashion involved in terms of having the latest, both kinds of furniture and the latest styles. And style is another interesting thing to talk about in relation to the teapoy. The top shape with the sloping out sides and then the sloping in top it was known as the sarcophagus form, named literally after the sarcophagus, as in a more or less a form of coffin. That form had been made popular by archaeological discoveries in Egypt and the ancient world, and a lot of furniture from the late 18th and early 19th century was inspired by such things as the finds in Pompeii and Herculaneum. So it's quite a fashionable piece of furniture, and it was the centrepiece of a kind of ritual. So if you look closely at the teapoy, you'll see that it's got 4 compartments, each with a hinged lid, and 2 recesses which originally would have held glass bowls. The 4 compartments were for different kinds of tea. As far as I know, there was black tea, green tea, and a tea called white tea. And I don't really know what the 4th tea was, but it was probably yet another kind of specialist tea. Tea at the time was still quite valuable, mostly due to tax, and so the teapoy has a good lock on it to secure it. The bowls were used to mix the tea, so the host would mix the tea to their kind of, I guess, their specialised blend, if you like, a mixture of green and black tea or white tea, possibly jasmine tea for the 4th. And then the tea making would occur on a separate table nearby. So the teapoy itself had an element of kind of the reveal, if you like. So the outside of this teapoy is veneered with kind of fabulous musk veneer, which is a native Tasmanian timber. But the inside is even more richly decorated with a combination of musk and beautifully figured Tasmanian blackwood. So there would have been this moment where you opened the teapoy and this sort of gorgeous interior was revealed, and then the ritual, if you like, of tea mixing went on after that. This teapoy would have been made probably in the late 1840s or maybe even the 1850s, which was kind of after the heyday of the teapoy, if you like, and the price of tea was beginning to decline. It was becoming a much more popular beverage, but nevertheless, in the colony, this specialised piece of furniture still had quite a lot of currency, if you like. And there's been only one newspaper reference to a musk teapoy that I've been able to find, which was from an inn in Liverpool Street in Hobart. And there's a tantalising possibility that this teapoy is that one, and that maybe that inn furnished itself with sort of gorgeous Tasmanian furniture as a kind of advertisement, if you like, for the local product, or a kind of, colonial nationalism. So the other thing you could say about the teapoy is that it is thought that it could perhaps have been made by Tasmania's premier cabinet maker, a chap called William Hamilton. He arrived in the 1830s. He was born in the very late 18th century, had a very successful business which followed on with his sons, And there are a number of pieces of furniture from his workshop which exhibit the qualities we see here, which is pretty much sort of a tour de force veneering, including over the bent surface of the column, plus a very high standard of actual cabinet making in terms of the box, and a sort of a keen sense of fashion, if you like, in terms of the styling.